Radio Network.
Nick Saban does not play anybody less than he doesn't put anybody less on the field than his very best player.
Bama does what Bama do. Sorry, I heard a noise. My bad. Somebody just left it on. Left it on my step.
That Colorado defense is definitely underrated, but they ended up pulling it out late. They have one of the players to watch for, Isaiah Spiller.
Oh, it's better. It's better now. Trust me. Like back in the day, there was at least one murder. So I mean, it's better now.
You realize that you're not doing anything to press your case by getting me to go down there. No, man, come on down there. It was only one murder. They're only averaging one murder a year.
And shout out to Florida. They're playing them this Saturday. Number 11 ranked Florida playing number 1 Alabama. So I think that's going to be a high scoring game. And
wow. Well played, Colin. Well played. I did not see that one coming. you get a double finger point, one for me and one for Sean. You know, you.
Here we go. Get your popcorn ready.
What's the big thing?
Hey, gang, how the hell is everybody doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It's been a minute since we all have seen each other. We were supposed to be on a couple nights ago, and we decided, nah, there's some actual NFL football on. We're not going to compete with that. And then I had to do, I had double hosting duties last night, and my man's was kind of wiped out after a long, hard day at work. So we decided to bring it to you on a Wednesday night. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to This Week in SEC Football. I am Mr. Fingaz coming to you from Zagnif Central. That fella over there. That fella, the brother from another, the sexy mother Hubbard, Collin P right there. How you doing, brother?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Still relishing in the victory, man. Just still trying to pinch myself every now and then, see if it's real or not. But yes, sir, it's definitely real. It is definitely real.
Yeah, man, it's a good feeling, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's one we haven't had. I mean, I was 4 years old since this last. Like I can feel anything at 4 years old, but that's the last time it happened. So I mean, I'm definitely feeling it right now. That's for sure.
Oh my goodness, man! Wow, yeah, wow. You weren't even in kindergarten yet. I think I was in what, 5th grade, going to the 4th grade, going to the 5th grade, or something like that. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
So, ladies and
about that. Yeah, the ladies and gentlemen, this is the season finale for season 1. We'll be kicking off season 2. We were supposed to start this week, but we had some more stuff to talk about. They gave us more stuff to talk about. So we're going to start season 2 next week. And we're going to go ahead and get this out in the open right now. Thank you all for joining us. This program is sponsored by our main program sponsor, DJG Enterprises and Greek Gans. All the custom-made sports gear you want. They got the custom laser engraved tumblers. They got the Afghans custom-made. You want your sports colors on them. They got them today at www.greekgans.com. And before we go another further real quick, why don't you do us a favor? Go ahead and smash, if you're watching on YouTube, that like button, and then come right over here somewhere in there and hit the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure you give it a share. All of that stuff that you do costs you absolutely nothing. Takes you 2 seconds. Helps boost us in the algorithm so we can get more views because we want to build the brand. So thank you for that. Hey, man. Hey, did you see? Listen, I know this is a question I don't have to ask. Did you see the celebration on Saturday?
Oh, bro, I watched it a couple times. That was a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff with listening to Kirby talk and then listening to Big Baby talk, just the love that he had for the university and for the team and for the Georgia fan base as a whole. You know, it was refreshing to see a kid like that, go out on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, bruh. Watching Kirby, I mean, all those trophies up there on the podium. Kirby actually wearing a shirt and tie with a jacket and not having somebody to have to hold him back from running and jumping off the stage.
Yeah.
Listen, wait a minute. Okay. One moment I can't not address. Why they get DeAndre Swift to call the dogs, man?
Yeah, no,
Did you
yeah.
make that?
I mean, that was a bit tough for me to watch. It was. I was like, all right, well, he's from California, though, right? Like he's from not even from the.
That does not matter. You've been on the sidelines and listened to it for years. You should know how this thing goes.
Oh, you had
You
Quincy.
understand what I'm saying?
Was it Quincy? It was a Quincy. It wasn't DJ. It was Quincy Carter, right? It wasn't DJ up there,
Nah,
right?
it was DeAndre Swift.
No,
They had
I'm talking about at the podium, talking to the players and talking to Smart and all that kind of stuff, doing the with the mic.
I think that was DJ.
It was a DJ. Okay.
But for those of you that are unfamiliar, there's a tradition that takes place at home games at Sanford Stadium where they do a thing called calling the dogs. And we have one side yell Georgia, the other side yell Bulldogs. And then Georgia, Bulldogs,
Bulldogs, yeah.
Georgia, Bulldogs. And then they wrap the whole thing up with Go Dogs, sick 'em, roo, 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 roo. Well, they had DeAndre Swift leading the call. And he didn't even seem remotely interested in it. He just pointing, and people are calling, and then he just jumps in ahead of time, go down, sick and move, and then just kind of just dropped the mic and walked off. We like,
yeah. I mean, they even had Mark. They even had Mark Rick do it better than him. Mark Rick's got some things going on with him. He even did it better. Did better than.
Look, Herschel, and look, and the one that the fans love more than anybody is when Herschel shows up once a season and calls the dogs.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You can hear him calling the dogs all the way in Atlanta from there. And that 45 minutes to, well, now the traffic is bad as it is, more like an hour to 2 hour drive. But
right.
That was probably the only thing but I mean, the dog walk, to see the guys on the dog walk, to see the parade and people just walking up and hugging the guys as they're riding by in the cars.
Yep.
It was something, man.
Yep. And then, like I said, talking about Big Baby up there talking the way he actually, was, just saying how much it meant to him. And then he pulled up that shirt and said, "Go Dogs and go Braves." I said, man, that's good stuff right there. He had on Braves jersey underneath his Georgia jacket there. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That got me good. So
people are still celebrating. People are any championship gear. I know a good place where you can get some championship gear. Visit that link right there, tinyurl.com/2022 UGA did it. We got some custom-made shirts because I was not smart enough to think to make a little video montage like I did for the other things. We don't have it here in hours. We won't have until our show, hopefully by the show next week. Because they're supposed to get here by Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send you yours. So hopefully we both have ours by. Yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't have it by Monday.
There you go. All right.
Or we could just wait and go. We could just wait and go on Tuesday. Don't matter.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Whatever. I've got my haul came in. If you can't see behind me, I got me a little 2 shirts right there. I got the one I got on right here. That's my first got a championship hat. So my first bundle, I guess you could say, of stuff is coming. I got a lot more on the way though. I realized I checked my account. I was like, I might have overextended just a hair. But hey, we're just gonna have it again, bro. You know what I mean?
You know how hard it was for me. I have a shocking confession to make. The only piece of championship gear I bought is our shirt.
Oh, really?
So far, that's it. I said so
far. Yeah, I don't think that'll be it.
Trust me, there's some coming.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be end all be all. I think you'll buy you something else, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go completely crazy, but I can now that we've been doing the show and it's been rolling along pretty steady and we're gonna be doing it for a while. I am actually going to get some more Georgia gear because I want to have something every week and not wear out what I have. Like some of the stuff I have, I've had so long, I've worn it out.
Right.
I had to I had to play taps and do a proper burial for my red Savage shirt with the
Yeah, you
spike
told me about that. Yeah, yeah, I got mine. Yeah, mine's running kind of thin too. And you know you will get the goodie out of them because when they start getting a little bit thin, where you can almost see through them, that's when you know you wear it a lot.
Yeah, well, and the T-shirt that I wore the night of the game, I'm gonna put in a frame and put a plaque on it.
There you go.
Yeah, that was gonna be National Championship 110 2022. That'll be the one. That one will go into retirement. So we had to find another. I got my game day opener that I wear every year on game day. That's my Aaron Murray jersey.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's what we got there. Oh man, let's see. We got nobody in the chat this evening. Nobody wants to play with us tonight. That's all right. We'll talk to ourselves. That's what we do anyway.
We do it
this week in STC. So man, this the scuttlebutt. I think Chief Foster's watching us because he's sending me all this. He's sending on Facebook Messenger right now, which I'm sure you've already seen. But I'll go ahead and forward them to you just so you can look at them. It's all of the Facebook scuttlebutt. Dude, Facebook blew me up. I guess Facebook can definitely tell that I'm a Georgia fan because it wasn't 3 hours after the game was over. It wasn't 3 hours after the game was over that I got all the ads for all the championship gear.
I was wondering that too because then I didn't stop thinking about it like you just told me or you just mentioned it. That those algorithms definitely I got the same thing. Like when I pulled up my Facebook, I mean it was boom, 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 boom. It was like a couple threads and then boom. Post, then the Georgia gear. I was like, oh, okay, I see you.
Yeah, so, and it's still popping up. And, oh, man, the Shannon Sharp did, I missed it. Don't know how I missed it. Shannon Sharp on Undisputed with Skip Bayless. They gave all kinds of kudos to they did us right. They paid us a nice little homage.
Yeah, I mean, and it kind of looked like they were kind of forced to do that because I mean they were giving Alabama like Alabama was this. If Alabama didn't lose their 2-star receivers, it'd be a different ball game. Which hey, who knows? It might have been, might have not been. Who knows? But then again, that's what I call it football. So I mean, you got to be ready.
This was the one that was This was the one that aired the day after the game, and I just saw it today.
Okay. Maybe that's not the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I just saw it today, and they definitely all they talked about was how we executed and they didn't, and we did what we were supposed to do and they didn't, and I think we held them to 60 some odd yards rushing. Good Lord!
Sorry, man. That's my dad. My dad's trying to talk to me.
I thought your DMs was blowing up. I was like, damn man, call that girl back. Call that girl back and tell her you will come and bring what she's looking for when we.
Well, that's one or two of them. Now my dad decided he wanted to call in video chat. I can't be doing that.
One or two. You got. Let me find out you. Let me find out you like Ludacris.
No, I ain't that area code guy. No, I ain't that guy.
In different area
code.
Area
I'm more that
912 603 404. You and me.
404. Hey.
Oh man. All right, look, I told y'all that I call it the brother from another, the sexy brother Hubbard.
Hey, no, you just reminded me of that commercial with him doing that peanut butter commercial. That's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
What happened?
That peanut butter commercial, the Jiffy peanut butter commercial. You ain't seen it with Luda?
Did they use? Oh, please tell me they didn't use area codes for the.
No, but it's one of his songs that he does the rapid fire, but he's got the peanut butter on top of Rufus' mouth, so when he's rapping, it sounds like he's got his tongue stuck on top of his mouth. He's in the booth. He's in the booth with the microphone. Pull it up. It's hilarious, dude.
I'm gonna have to look that one up then.
It's funny.
I'm definitely gonna have to look that one up.
He said, "That's a banger right there. That's a hot one." He goes in the booth. He's got exactly what he's talking about.
Oh God. Now my interest is peaked. Now I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, you definitely you will. Oh my God, you will not stop laughing.
Oh man, that's not even right. For those of you that happen to be watching us, whether you're live with us right now or watching the replay, welcome to season 1, episode 22, the season finale of season 1 of This Week in SEC Football. We're just kind of shooting the breeze right now because college football, the season is over. Speaking of season being over, have you seen the Uncle Lou video? The Uncle Lou, your season is over, season closer.
No, I missed it. I need to pull that up and watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
Must watch. All I can say, must watch. That's it.
All right, we'll do.
Shout out to our boy Uncle Lou. We say that like we actually hang out with Uncle Lou and do shows with Uncle Lou. He just happens to be a huge Georgia fan. It's like way years ahead of the game, on us in this. And yeah, if you're a football fan, especially if you're an SEC football fan, Uncle Lou definitely bears watching. He definition of IDGAF for sure. That guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, man, gosh, a lot of activity going on this week outside of the accolades and the parades and the celebrations and the vendors that are making a ton of money going, oh my God, we're actually going to move some product for a team other than Alabama this year.
Yeah.
A lot of activity going on in Athens. Just because the game is over, just because the championship has been decided, does not mean that it is quiet. All is quiet in Athens right now. What's the area code up there? 306? I forget.
Athens?
Yeah, I forget. I went to school. I went to school there, and I forgot what the area code is. I just know it's next to the phone.
It's not 912. I mean, I don't know.
No, 912 Savannah, bro.
Oh, that's it. 912 is where I'm from too. So I mean, it reaches all the way up there, down to where I'm from. So mine's 912 as well, down in Folkestone.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. The thing.
Brunswick's 912. Brunswick, Blackshear, all that's 912. That's a 912 area down there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? You're right about that. So, which one we want to start with first? We want to do the portal, or we want to start with the draft?
You roll the dice, my friend.
All right. I guess we'll talk about those who are declared for the draft, because that is less of a painful thing for us to talk about here at This Week in SEC Football. I won't say painful. I mean, let's be real. If you're going to declare for a draft, if you played college football and you want to declare for a draft, if you play any sport in college and you want to declare for whatever draft they have, there's no better time to declare than after your team has won a national championship.
Very true.
Point blank, especially when you have a team that was as dominant, especially on the defensive side. No offense to the offense, but especially on the defensive side, as Georgia was this year. And so we'll talk about who the notables that are coming back. So far, the notables we have coming back, and this made Bulldog Nation very happy. Smith and Smith, Nolan and Tyke will both be coming back to Athens this year. So everybody's really stoked about that. Those guys were two key cogs in the defense that included Big Baby and N'Kobe Dean and Keely Ringo. Keely's only he's a sophomore, right? After the season, he's a true freshman.
I think he is a true freshman. I think so. Yeah, I mean that's the thing was like we scored only freshmen scored the whole game.
So Keely will be back. And then, oh my God, what is that boy's name? That absolute monster of a man that's coming from Robinson, I believe his last name is.
Oh my God, yeah, I was showing somebody that yesterday. That dude, he makes DK. Hey, look, he's another DK, but he's in college. Like he's coming out of high school. Like I mean, the bubbles on his arms. I swear to God, man, that boy is huge. He can deadlift like 700 pounds. I think he can.
He can deadlift like 700 and bench close to 4.
Close to 4, yeah, 375. I think is what they said he can bench.
And apparently has sub 4.5, can run a sub 4.5. So you mean to tell me you got all that speed plus all that power?
Could you imagine? I mean,
you don't want to. We don't want to say. We don't want to say who it reminds us of, because that guy will always and forever be the preeminent greatest of all time running back in the history of the program. But it reminds me. It reminds me very much of.
It's a stark.
Mr.
It's a
Walker.
very stark. It's a stark comparison. That's for sure.
Yeah, very strong. Because Herschel was a grown man when he came in as a freshman.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason anybody knows who that linebacker is from Tennessee is because Herschel ran him over.
That's right. Yep.
My God, a freshman.
And then he said when he hit that boy's leg, I guess when he hit Ursul's leg, it was like hitting a tree trunk. Like like it was the hardest thing he'd ever hit in his life.
Yeah. Oh, we got some folks jumping in the chat. Hello, how are you? Give me a second. I will get to your comment. Oh, Sydney Swinton, what's going on, my man? Thank you for joining us here at This Week in SEC Football. You know me, you know him. So I don't have to introduce you to us because you know us. So
hey, Fingaz, give me 1 minute, Fingaz. I'll be right back. 1 minute.
Okay. All right. Well, we were just talking about some of the guys that are staying, and then we're talking about players that have declared for the 2022 draft this year. So we'll just go ahead and start on the back end. The first player to declare, which did not surprise me at all, running back James Cook. Cook had a shot this year. I mean, the highlight of the season being his 67-yard break-off sprint down the sidelines. I thought he was going to get a touchdown on that one for sure. His brother plays for, I want to say, Minnesota. I feel very unprepared tonight. So here are James Cook's stats. He managed to, for 2021, he had 113 attempts for 728 yards and 7 touchdowns with an average of 6.4 yards per carry. Now, while his touchdown yards and his total yards are not astounding, and he had an awful lot of carries. That's all. Well, actually, that's not too bad. 13, 14, 15 games, that's not too bad. That's less than 10 carries a game. To average 6.4 yards a carry, that's impressive. Any big names not declaring that I can think of? The only name that I can think of, Sid, that has not declared that surprised me that they didn't declare, and it's not necessarily that they're a marquee player, or they're not a world beater player. I should say that didn't declare for the draft is the Mailman.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got 1 year of eligibility left. He's a senior, but he's got a year of eligibility left because of COVID, which he decided to use. He made the announcement today that he's coming back, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. But James Cook, definitely a huge asset in the backfield. Actually, our second part of our tandem here, Zamir White, also declared for the draft. Zeus, as he is affectionately known to the Bulldog faithful that rally around the men that wear the red and black. God, I mean, he also was a physical specimen. He did not come in as a world beater. I think that was a thing that shocked a lot of people. But the thing about him was he was patient. He bided his time, and he got better and better with every passing season. Like, he wasn't posting up Herschel Walker type numbers. He only ran for 779 and 856 and 5.3 this season and 11 touchdowns. But he was able to eat up the ground in big chunks when it mattered, especially when it come down to especially in the championship game when it was just time to grind it out and run the clock out. I mean, he got better every year. 2019, he had 408. Last year, he ran for 779. This past season for 856. And his average per carry has been consistent. It's been around 5.2 to 5.4 yards per carry.
That's
so best of luck
I was going to mention like 5. I was going to say like 5, but that's not too shabby. for a 5 yards per carry average there.
Now, here's one that declared that kind of shocked me just because he has a very small sample size. Is George Pickens.
It shocked
We
you
know
he
that the
declared?
is a beast. It shocked me that he declared when he had a year of eligibility left because he really didn't get a chance to shine at all this year. I mean, he only had 5 receptions for 107 yards all season.
Yeah, and that was toward the end because I
And
mean he was still
matter of fact,
rehabbing that. He was still rehabbing his his
right.
ACL.
Yeah. I mean, his best season was his freshman year when he had 49 receptions for 727 and
No,
8 touchdowns. And we
I
thought
mean,
he was going to be.
no,
Go ahead.
I'm not sorry to cut you off, but I'm saying like, yeah, I was kind of surprised myself. But I mean, if you look at that, I mean, he's already pro caliber. I mean, you can see that catch that still sticks in my mind. That down the middle of the field where Stetson threw it up there and he laid out, and the way he popped up, the way he pulled it in to his body, you know what I'm saying, and just popped up like it was no thing. That was definitely a pro
Pull the
style.
ball into his body
Yeah,
and then roll over, which is a receiver.
that is a pro. That's a pro
Like,
move. That's definitely a pro move. But I mean, yeah, I was surprised. I was kind of a little bit heartbroken that he didn't come back because I mean, and there was kind of a question there to your point as well. He had just come back, like he had just rehabbed off that ACL, tear and what have you. And that's the kind of question that I have by myself that I have to ask these guys why they don't, after they come off with something like that, an injury like that, why don't they feel the need that they could use that extra year, to kind of, build their stock back up, I guess is what I'm saying. But
yeah.
I mean, his stock was already pretty high. But I mean, that's always a question in my mind. Why wouldn't they want that extra time? But
I mean, I get it. I get it because even though he has the extra year of eligibility, because this would be his, I think if he played as a true freshman, this would be his junior year. And then he had senior year plus the COVID year of eligibility.
right,
And I guess just figuring that he already had the injury, I guess now was the time to go. But still, I guess that makes sense to me. I'll take that back. That one makes sense to me more than I thought it did originally, now that I've taught myself through it.
yeah,
But he just had a really small sample size to show people. So he's really essentially he's gonna have to show out at the combine. He's one of those guys that his reputation for his talent is going to precede him, but he's
yeah.
gonna have to show out at the combine.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I
But
don't think that's gonna be a problem. I think he'll be able to do that. I mean, I think just fine. I mean, I don't know. I mean, probably. I don't know what his stock is now. I mean, do you think he'll be a first rounder?
If he is, he'll be late first round.
Yeah, I was gonna
Worst
say
case
late.
scenario. Worst case scenario, he'll be like the middle of he'll be like in a maybe top 10 of the second.
Yeah,
Just because he's already got that injury and they want to at least that because you know how the NFL does, they want to hedge their bets. Like, we know this kid can ball out, but he's already got this injury, and if we draft him first round, we're gonna have to pay him if we draft him first round. If we draft him second round, we could throw him a low 5 figures salary on throw him a little extra on top of the rookie minimum, but we don't have to pay out first round money. And if he gets hurt, we don't lose as much money on our investment. I hate to think of that they do it like that, but I mean, it's a business, regardless of what way you
it's a
look at it.
business. At the end of the day, sure. And just talking about his injury, I didn't realize that Zeus had both his ACLs torn. Did you know that? I had no. I mean, I forgot about it or never did know about it.
Before he started playing.
Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, this year was the year for him to declare. He's like, I made it through. I got my championship. Now my stock is not going to be any higher ever at this point. I could take the COVID year and maybe risk tearing the ACL, but I've already had 2 torn ACLs. Let's go now. Let's go right now.
And that's another good, it's another good story. I mean, like, there's a lot of these kids, like, him and Stetson. I mean, a lot of good, feel good stories with a good ending. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy for those guys.
Yeah. Let's see. We just run across a couple of more notables. Let's see. I got Nakobe Dean, and my man Nakobe Dean. You guys notice him. You probably remember every time he makes a big play, he throws up the hooks for his Omega Psi Phi fraternity brothers. Boy was the absolute general on the field. He became the defensive general of the team. 72 tackles, 30. Wow. Ooh wee.
Say that
72
again.
tackles.
72 tackles.
Yeah, 36 solo, but 72 tackles.
Wow. How many sacks?
6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions.
Wow.
And one of which was the pick 6, I believe. Yep.
Yeah.
Finish, and I mean, just ridiculous. Just a ridiculous player. Talk about a kid with a motor. He can run sideline to sideline.
Closing
Doesn't
speed is
matter what kind of,
insane. Yeah.
his closing speed is insane. He will do well. He will do exceptionally well. He would do exceptionally well in the league. I got nothing but good things to say about Nakobe Dean. So wishing him, excuse me, I got the belches now. I probably should have just drank the water. That's what I get for drinking soda.
There you go.
So
Gaseous clay.
What? Cash is clay. What'd you say?
No, I said gaseous clay.
Oh yeah. Don't you even start with me.
I have to, man. I never started you.
Clay. Mama named him Clay. I'ma call him Clay. That's right. That's right. He just all you want to. I said, he Clay. He always gonna be Clay to me.
You beat Joe Lewis's ass.
Rocky Marciano, wasn't she? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord. All right, we digress.
Let's see. Next notable player heading out for the NFL draft, the one and only Louis Cine. And if you remember, he was right along with Nakobe. They had the video of them, which turned out to be very prophetic when they were both together in school. Were they were together in school, weren't they? No, they weren't. No. Was it Louis? No, it was Nakobe Dean and somebody else. They did the video. No, it was Louis Cine and somebody. Or maybe they did go to school together. Anyway, I'm looking at birthplaces. Anyway, 73 total tackles, 43 solo. So he had more solo tackles than Nakobe had. No sacks, but he was a defensive back. So he didn't get he didn't get to spend a lot of time in the backfield, but he did have one interception this season. Finished up with a total of 140 some odd tackles, 93 of them solo.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy. 93 solo tackles in 3 seasons, 2019, 2020, 2021. Looks like he basically got promoted. He basically got promoted to the first squad. Looks like he played a lot of reps last year, but he got promoted all the way to first string this season. And that's one thing that I love about these boys. Once you give them an opportunity to go for broke, they do not waste it. They go all the way out. And when I say all the way out, I mean all the way out.
Yeah.
All the way out.
But that was a special thing with them, the defense. And then you hear Big Baby talk about it, you hear Nakobe talk about it, about that loss, that first loss in the SEC championship and what have you. And then they talk about the preparation. Those boys got mad when they got, the other team got across the 50. I mean, if they scored on them, they were even more pissed. So, I mean, it's hard to find a defense like that has that kind of, that kind of fire. But they definitely had it.
Yeah, and this is going to be the last one I'm going to highlight here as far as notables going, as far as going to the draft. Last but not least, and you called him up, my man, number 99, 6'6", 360 some odd pounds at the weigh-in for the national championship. Big baby Jordan Davis.
Run a 4.5, a 4.5.
Yeah, runs a at 6'6", 360, running a 4.5. Oh my God. Oh my God.
No.
Absolute beast. Played all 4 seasons. He got some part-time playing time. Really got full-time playing time his senior season. 32 tackles, 17 solo, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. So he wasn't really, his job was not to be the guy to make the numbers.
Yeah.
He made the way for the Nakobe Deans to get in there and make
the numbers. And he did have it. He did have his time every once in a while he had his time to get through the line and grab a sack or two, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think he was just more on the line to cause havoc just to give those other guys a chance to get through.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at this list. I got Cook and White probably second rounders. Pickens probably second round. Nakobe Dean, Big Baby, Lewis Sheen. I got all three of them going first round. And then here are some other notables that declare for the draft. Defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt, defensive back Darion Kendrick, and our punter.
Yeah, I
Boomer.
saw
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
He could have played for Oklahoma because that boy got a boomer.
That's right.
Jake Gamarda declared for the 2022 draft. So that's what we got. Those are the guys we got that are going to be, they're going to be making their way out. Best of luck to you all. You all will now and henceforth and forevermore be remembered as damn good dogs. So let it be written, so let it be done. Go dogs. Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll keep this.
You have been knighted, sir.
You have been knighted. You have been measured. You have been, oh God, I forgot how the quote go. And I remembered it last night when somebody threw it out. Anyway, then we want to talk about this. The transfer portal.
Oh,
there have been some guys, Amber Speed, defensive back Amber Speed, wide receiver Jalen Johnson, wide receiver Justin Robinson, defensive back Jalen Kimber, Latavius Brenny, Lavacia Carroll, Justin Robinson, Jalen Kimber, and most recently, he just right before I came in here, I saw that right before I came in here to get on with you, I saw that he had decided to hit the transfer portal, and his name is coming up right now. It is not the quarterback, because we're gonna talk about him. Jermaine Burton, wide receiver Jermaine Burton. All of them have entered the transfer portal. Your thoughts?
I think we've actually shared these thoughts several times on the show. I get it to a point, and I don't get it to a point. I understand looking for more playing time and that kind of stuff. But what kind of gets me is the high-profile players that are leaving. You know what I mean? Like the Caleb's and the, those types of players. Those are things kind of confuse me as to why they're leaving and that kind of stuff. When they do have, the playing time, maybe they're looking for a better environment, better chance to win, I guess you would say. I'm not sure. That's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm kind of indifferent, but I do think, like I've said before, I think we need a limit on how these things can go, and it kind of goes along with me. It kind of goes along the line with the NIL. You know what I mean? And like after you heard that Stetson got an NIL deal, right?
Yeah. Of course he was going to get one.
And then they got people that are these, which I didn't understand and didn't really didn't know that these NIL deals are actually intertwined, or I think they're intertwined with these colleges. Like they're offering millions of dollars to come to the university of wherever. You know what I mean? I didn't know that was actually legal.
Well, here's how it works. A lot of these boosters with a lot of this money are the boosters that have money. Car dealerships. It's just like it's the guy that gave Spencer Rattler the car dealership deal here in Oklahoma City. He's a big time OU booster. So
right.
that's how they're able. That's how the schools are able to work around. The schools can't pay them, but the boosters can if the boosters have got the. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I hear what you're saying, but they couldn't though, right? This has all become a new thing where that's not. It had been illegal, right? Like you couldn't accept gifts from anybody or any kind of booster or anything like that until like recently, right? And that's what the NIL.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel. I think it was something where Johnny Manziel got in. That was the big hullabaloo when everybody still liked Johnny Manziel about him taking some money for signing some autographs.
But bro, that's the same thing with Gurley. Like Gurley got kicked off the team because he was signing helmets for $15. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Little tiny helmets he was signing for $15 to $20. And he got see.
Yeah, well, he was going in the draft that year anyway, so
absolutely. That's when these kids don't really have to.
Beside the point, but
care.
Still,
yeah, they don't have to care. But
I don't see in here that Big Baby has declared for the draft. It's his senior year, but I don't see that he's declared for the draft.
I mean, isn't there's there a deadline? I mean, I went a deadline like today or yesterday or some Saturday.
I think the deadline
I
is
mean, there's
today
nowhere else
or
he can go.
tomorrow.
I mean, he would have to declare because there's nowhere else he can go. I mean, he's a senior, right? He can't necessarily play for anybody else.
Well, he could. He's still got a year of eligibility.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I thought about
Unless he
COVID. I
was,
didn't think it.
yeah, he's still got a year of COVID eligibility. So
Well, wouldn't
as
that
of
be?
okay, well, let's just say this. Here's the notables, David Wright, if you're still watching. Here's the list of notables who, as of this morning, because I got this straight from Dogs Daily on Fan Nation, who have not declared. Warren McClendon, Nolan Smith, he said he's coming back. Kenny McIntosh,
Yeah.
Warren Erickson, John Fitzpatrick, Quay Walker, Kiarish Jackson, Stetson Bennett, we'll get to that in a minute. William Poole, Robert Beal, Channing Tindall, Justin Schaefer, Julian Rochester, and as of this morning, Jordan Davis has not declared. Now, unless he declared and I missed the news somewhere, he hadn't declared for the draft yet. And we just assumed that he was leaving. He might come back for one more. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? That would be awesome. I just hope that it would be I hope that it would wind up being a fruitful decision for him. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
If he decides to come back for one more year.
Just to have him and Nolan Smith and the rest of those guys, holy smokes. Man.
Yeah. Oh, today was the deadline. Oh, no. Today was not the deadline. The deadline was 2 days ago.
Oh, wow.
They had until the 17th to file declaration papers with the league, and the full list of approved early entries is sent to all 32 NFL clubs on January 21st. Any player 3 years removed from their senior year of high school is eligible for the 2022 draft. So that means once you get to your third year, so even if you're a redshirt sophomore, you can declare for the draft, I guess.
Okay.
So I'm looking right now. I don't see his name on the list. And this is as of, this list was 2 days ago. I don't think he declared for the draft, bro.
Wow. Well, we'll find it out tomorrow.
Is Big Baby coming back?
That would be, I mean.
Wow. Okay. I'm down with that.
I'm definitely down with that.
I'm down with that. I'm definitely down with that action. Well, the thing that was most notable by all means out of all of this was not so much who decided to go in the draft, but who decided to not go in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So our boy, the mailman, we rode by him, right? We rode by him, ride or die. Although we had a moment of hesitation.
Yeah.
Monday night last week, we're like, oh Lord, coach, please put in JT because we're gonna lose this game. But we rode with the guy all season long. We rode with him all season long, and hey, he got us there. He's decided that he is going to return for one more year. He made the announcement today that he is going to return for one more year. So that's where we are with that. So the mailman will be coming back. We'll talk more about that in a second. But also, the man who everybody kept calling for to play, put this guy in. He hit the portal. JT Daniels has hit the transfer portal, and he's off to greener pastures. We're hearing that it is a possibility that he may wind up going to West Virginia. That's the scuttlebutt, but I've also heard the same thing about Caleb Williams. So who knows? Although if you had to take a stab, you'd want to say that Caleb would follow logic and go to USC to be with Lincoln Riley because that's the coach that believed in him and gave him the shot. So, and they need a quarterback now because their starting quarterback is gone.
Yeah.
From this past, and he entered the transfer portal. So Riley's gonna need a guy. And they got this freshman kid coming in that's supposed to be a stud too. But he may wind up sitting behind Caleb, so he might wind up entering the transfer portal as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, having said all that, so JT's gone, and the scuttlebutt has already started. JT's leaving because Stetson said he's coming back, and Burton's leaving because Stetson said he's coming back, and we don't really know.
No.
Colin and I, what do you think about this, man? But the JT thing.
I mean, I don't know. I've kind of said my piece on the whole thing several times. Dude, he is a 5-star. He's better than Stetson, but Stetson got us there and got us through the whole thing. Honestly, it shows Stetson's got more. Stetson's got a heart. He might not have the kind of talent on the paper that JT or any other 5-star or 4-star has. But it showed me during the national championship game where even the first series when we were texting back at each other, it's like you're talking about it. He's not nervous. He's just hyped up. He's amped. Da da da. But he fumbled the ball right off the bat. We were like, oh God, here we go again. Everybody was probably thinking the same thing. But what does he do? Picks it up, kind of settles down, and then he gets it back in the game. We were in the game the whole time, and then that time when him, they called it a fumble, which I don't even know if it was a fumble or not. Whatever, I didn't really kind of see the difference between him and Bryce Young, what they did. But anyway,
I'll put it like this. Let me jump on that real quick. I'll put it like this. It was an incomplete pass. But the problem that I have with the fact that the referees making that call is that early in the game, Bryce Young did the same thing, and it was
of course.
It was not a
Of course.
it was not a, what did they say? It was a fumble.
Yeah.
Recovered by Alabama.
Right. Exactly. There was no intentional about it. It was a full goal.
Intentional grounding is what they called it.
The thing with me though, it was a foregone conclusion. Regardless, it was going to be either a intentional grounding or a fumble. There was no way it was going to be an incomplete pass. That wasn't even in the conversation. They weren't even entertaining calling that. It was either going to be a penalty either way or a turnover. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And but what I'm saying, where I was going was that he could have easily let that bother him. But what did he do in the next series? Alabama scored. Obviously, they got the ball back. They scored real quick. We got the ball. What happened? We got, he threw the bomb to AD. You know what I'm saying? And on a free play. They got that, and that's the kind of caliber of kid he is. He could have easily laid down, but he showed me something there. There was a couple of big plays that he had. Of course, he's not. He underthrows some stuff. He made some great passes, I think, that game. But I don't know, dude. I'm on the train. Really. I'm on the train until he gives me a reason not to be. You know what I'm saying?
Question for you. Do you feel that his demeanor has changed a bit since
it's hard
since the championship?
I know where you're going with that.
Not as hard, but remember there was another kid about the same size and stature that people said couldn't play.
Yeah.
That wound up playing at some school in Lubbock.
Yeah.
And then he beat Alabama, and then he declared for the draft, and he turned into a real, what?
Yeah. And his last name is football. I understand who you're talking about, but
right.
Yeah, no, and to answer your question, unfortunately, I do. And I know I got to go off of his media, so you can't really put a whole lot of truth into it. But with what I've seen, his demeanor kind of, I can agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I think he's kind of changed a little bit. How can it not change you when you're on the biggest stage in the world and you kind of ball out and you won the national championship? But you've got to have it. You said it yourself. You got to have it and take it in small chunks and not let it, change you and because it will turn around and bite you in the where. But to answer your question, I do see it a little bit. I don't know if it's going to hang over to next year. That remains to be seen. But I do see a little bit of a change, a little swagger.
Well, I don't want to. Well, my fear is the guy with something to prove has now finally proven it. Now, does he stay humble or does he get full of himself?
Yeah, and it goes back to what I said earlier too about the Fromm situation. Fromm, he balled out. He wasn't supposed to be out to nothing, and he ended up taking us to the Rose Bowl. You know what I mean? And beating Oklahoma in however many overtimes or whatever, blah blah blah. And I don't think he had the I don't think his demeanor changed. I don't think his attitude kind of changed, but he just had like a garbage next year. And and going to what you're saying is if Stetson has this kind of attitude change and thinking his ass don't stink and this that and the other and blah blah blah, and that just opens him up to having the same kind of year as Fromm did. Because I mean I don't know if he's. I mean I don't know. I mean I agree, but I understand your point. Like I mean that is kind of the kill all. If you let it get to you. You know what I'm saying? If you are a good player and a good athlete, got to stay grounded, and unless it'll kill you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have enough of a sample size to go off of. It's just things that are being said, and you know how things are presented. The media will always
Sure.
want to present it. The four letter and all the other networks will kind of present it in a manner so that it leaves it up to you to draw your own conclusions. Did he say what I think he said, or did he do what I think he did, or what does he mean by that? And then just leave people to draw their own conclusions.
Right.
So, but he, he came back. He said he's coming back. So we'll see what happens. It just, I will say this: next year's squad is going to be real young.
Yeah.
Next year's squad, like what we experience next year will be what Alabama experienced this year. They lost 10, 11, 12 starters, and that was just to the draft.
Well, this year they lost like 19, right? I mean, that was like 19 or 18 people I've seen from Alabama leaving, like whether it be the draft or the transfer portal or what have you. I mean, they lost
yeah, but I don't really, you know what? The guys that I look at as a transfer portal, those are the guys that want to play right now, and they're realizing they're not going to they're not going to get a shot to play.
No,
I mean, it doesn't matter. We call Saban we call Saban the transfer guru because you don't hear about a lot of guys transferring out of Alabama. But there are some guys that are like, yeah, I kind of want to play because now I got to go find someplace else to play because I'm not gonna beat out. I'm not gonna beat out Bryce Young at quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna beat out. Let's see, Mechie and what's his nuts are leaving in the draft.
Yeah,
Mechie and Jameson are leaving in the draft. I'm not gonna beat out Adam Anderson at. Not Adam Anderson. That's our guy. What's the boy's name?
yeah. Well, that was a lot of questions posed about that. Like he's the one that I guess he was caught for the or I guess accused of
sexual assault,
sexual assault or harassment or whatever. And there was questions posed around like, is he going to get a ring and da da da? Is he on the roster still? I don't know. I think when he kicked off the roster, but he was still able to go to school. Was he still affiliated with the team?
He's still a student, but he's no longer. He's not on the team.
Okay.
I don't think he will because he's no longer with the team. Kirby made that announcement when the rubber met the road 7-8 weeks ago. So
I got you.
I mean, they might. I mean, Kirby might still get him a ring, but who knows?
Well, I mean, yeah. I haven't heard any more about that.
He wasn't on the podium on Saturday, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't heard any more about that. Is what I'm saying is like that when it hit, and then there was a little bit of news coverage on it, then it's gone. I mean, like I don't know if he was released or what. I mean, I know he was actually out on bond or whatever, but I haven't heard any more about
it. Yeah. So those guys are realizing they're just not going to get. They're not going to get Will Anderson Jr. That's what the same last name. Will Anderson from Alabama. Like I'm not going to beat out Will Anderson for a starting spot. So those guys are leaving and going someplace where they feel like they might get a starting spot, like Osei in Auburn or Osei. Even a UAB. Even a UAB is not a bad school. They're not a Power 5, but they're not a bad school.
Yeah.
So, then I don't know. It's just going to be a young squad. It's going to be a real young squad because a lot of your seniors are leaving. Not very many of them are staying to take that extra year of eligibility. They're like, I just want a championship.
Hang on.
Look,
he's not feeling very well, so he's kind of laying down a little bit. So
I got you.
A bit under the weather. There we go.
No, you didn't just Derrick Henry your own child. Just
like, get out of here. Huh? Yes, I want to play it with you.
So,
all right.
So So that's where we are with that, man. It's gonna be a young squad. So I'll be interested to see what Kirby's able to do with this very young team that's gonna be up and coming. Because I think with this class, we're losing the last of any of them that were left with the championship run. Because I think with the any of the players from the last championship run, because Zeus's freshman year was the year that Jake and the boys went to the national
Yeah.
championship.
Right.
So all of those got Jake and James Cook and those guys. They're well, I know James Cook. I don't think was James Cook is he's a senior.
He's just saying.
And Jordan, big baby, like all the seniors, they were. This is the year that they're moving on in the draft. They were all freshmen the year that the juniors and seniors came back to try and run it back one more time. So we'll see. We will see.
Loves that one.
We will see. Yeah. So those of you that are watching, whether you're watching live now or watching the replay, thank you for tuning in this week in SEC football. I am Mr. Fingaz from Zagnan Central. That guy right there, the brother from another, Collin P. We're down to our final segment of the show. We finally gave it a name. We're calling it the 2-minute warning. The 2-minute warning. And this particular segment is sponsored by our other two segment sponsors, 1906 Tees. Hit them up today. Why is it not playing? It is playing. I don't think it's playing. It is playing, but it's not doing what it's supposed to do. There we go. 1906 Tees. I swear to God, man, I got to come up with a better way of making that work because every time I try and make the thing play, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Hit them up. They also do graphic design for T-shirts and things. Graphic design for T-shirts and different sorts of paraphernalia. You can get your custom sports paraphernalia. Hit them at squareup.com/store/1906tees and Envision Social Media, where you can empower, create, and sustain their job in this world. Nothing makes them happier than to help them help you. That made no sense. Nothing in this world makes them happier than to help you achieve. Oh my God, I can't talk today. Nothing in this world makes them happier than help your social media pop. I'm sorry, Janika. I'm sorry, sis. I'm gonna work on. Oh man, nothing like doing live reads with no teleprompter. Envision Social Media, here to help you with all of your social media solutions. Here to empower, create, and sustain. Thank you both. Thank you both for being sponsors.
Oh my God. Oh Lord, you're killing me, bro.
You know what that tells me? That tells me that we're wrapping up at just about a good time. What can are you on? 2 or 3?
I'm on 2. I'm leaving this one for last. This was that mango chili. I don't know if I like that or not. I don't know. Who's gonna put chili powder in a drink? I don't know.
Well, that looked like that can. That dude got his butt whipped with in the earlier this year.
Oh, man, that was that icy.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't it crazy? It's been almost a year since the Twisted Tea incident. So anyway, for the 2-minute warning, this segment is basically where just whatever's on your mind doesn't necessarily have to be about football or anything. On our 2-minute warning, basically I'm not even going to talk about nothing going on in the world. I just want to say a thank you to you, bro. Thank you, for being a good friend for all these many years, and for us just being able to chop it up, talk about Dogs football or Braves baseball or how bad Atlanta football is, or or just stuff in general, keeping up with each other and in life events and things like that. And so just thank you for being a good friend, man, and for when I hit you up and say, hey, let's do this, you didn't even hesitate, let's go. What I got to do, where I got to be. And so here we are, 22 episodes later, and getting ready to start a second season.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So I appreciate you, man. That's my 2-minute warning. Thank you for deciding to come on board and be a part of this. Oh,
absolutely. Thing. I mean, I'll kind of piggyback mine on top of yours. I mean, I didn't know I was looking. I was looking for something like this, something to kind of buy my time and kind of fill in the void that I was having, didn't even know, kind of knew I had a little bit of a void to fill, but I just kind of solidified it. And it gives me a little bit, I ain't gonna lie to you, that was the funniest thing ever when we were supposed to do a quote unquote dry run, and he was like, "Oh, we're going live in five seconds," and that was the best thing you could have ever done. Because if you hadn't done that, I'd have still had some kind of reservations in my mind, like I can't do this, and the other, talking in front of people, this, that, and the other. But that was the best thing you could have ever done. And going back to what Sean said, he said, like, once we got together and started talking, like it's like we've been talking together for years, which we had been, so it's like nothing new. Like we were talking, like it's just being at the bar, since you moved to Oklahoma, it never kind of never slipped, you know what I'm saying? And we still talk, still kept in touch, albeit not like a lot, but I mean, it's the old cliche saying, like, no matter how long it's been since you see somebody, once you get together, it's like you never left type of thing,
True that.
So,
you know what
I appreciate it.
Another part of the 2-minute warning, you know what I forgot to do?
What's that?
Who did we say we were going to have on this show tonight that neither one of us thought to contact? Mr. Roll Tide himself. Daryl, if you're watching the replay, one of us will reach out to you this week. We'll get you on. We'll probably do another maybe Thursday, Friday before, y'all hit the streets or do whatever it is y'all do on Friday. I'll hit you. One of us will hit you up, but we want to definitely have you on to get your thoughts. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys. That's going to do it for this week's episode, the season finale of This Week in SEC Football. We do appreciate all of our sponsors, that being DJG Enterprises, GreekGans.com, 1906 Tees, and Envision Social Media. We appreciate you. And by the way, Envision Social Media is envisionsocialmedia.com. Wow. Not only did I butcher the read, I didn't even throw the website out there. Woo, I gotta put a sheet over here somewhere with all that stuff on it so I don't mess it up anymore. But we thank you guys for tuning in. Those of you that tuned in. David Wright for jumping in the chat. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. We will catch you guys next week for the season premiere of season 2 of This Week in SEC Football. Holla. And go Dogs.
And go Dogs. Yes, sir.